Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. And we're gathered here for the game of your life. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I want to see you put your flags up in the air right now. Sing. Oh, oh,
Good day everyone, welcome to today's Sociology video presentation on the topic was the Trinidad and Tobago's men's national football team's qualification for the Germany 2006 FIFA Men's World Cup, the most significant event in Trinidad and Tobago's limited but very rich sporting history? Let's find out. There is no denying the fact that sport is a very multifaceted product that transcends geographic and political borders, as well as brings varying genders, cultures, classes together, even if it's for a limited period of time. Now, Trinidad and Tobago is a multicultural society, and the internal pride of 1.3 million people, we were united in support of just 11 players that took to the field in Germany to represent us and stand up to the might of other European nations and our former colonizers, England. Now, these teams boasted tremendous superstars that still actively participate in the game today, from the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic to Frank Lampard, who is currently in management. However, when we look at this historic feat of once being the world's smallest nation to qualify and participate in a FIFA Men's World Cup through our sociological lenses, we can definitely put our answer to the question, was it indeed our most significant event in our sporting history? And the answer to this is yes, indeed it is. And while the reasonings may incorporate both positive and negative attributes, the sole reason as to why it remains our most significant event is because issues arising and stemming from our qualification and participation still affects us today in contemporary times. Throughout today's video, we will be looking at this from a multitude of perspectives, which includes a functionalist, conflict theorist approach, as well as symbolic interactionalism, and last but certainly not least, a feminist approach, and a feminist approach being very important because our female program was virtually non-existent before Germany 2006. Two comments. Looking at the national team's qualification from a functionalist perspective, many of our footballers from the 2006 World Cup squad have continued their legacies by becoming ideal role models within society, the business and management side of sports, thereby passing on their valuable experience and expertise to the youth of the nation. Some examples of these include Brent Sancho being a prominent one, who rose to attain the honor of holding one of the highest, most prestigious offices in Trinidad, that is, the Minister of Sport, and attaining ownership of local club Central FC, that currently competes in the Trinidad and Tobago Pro League. Despite Central FC being one of the youngest professional clubs in TNT, it has been one of the most successful both on and off the field in terms of youth development. Currently, the club is responsible for developing TNT's sole player that competes at the highest level in Europe, that is Levi Garcia. Additionally, the former World Cup squad boasted the likes of Russell Latipi, who has continued to share his coaching skill and experience to many disadvantaged youths throughout the country. Notwithstanding Dwight York, who stands out on an international level as he has continued his journey as a FIFA and Manchester United ambassador, thereby increasing widespread and the overall popularity of the game of football. The reality is that Trinidad and Tobago as a society have always been looked at in a negative light, whether it is in regards to the high level of crime or our overall front party culture that gives us a reputation of never taking things seriously. Upon entering the World Cup in 2006, we were able to step out of this negative shadow and show ideals or traits of a typical functional society, which included discipline, determination, and perseverance. In schools today, this maiden World Cup birth remains a story to be told for generations to come. And not only is it a proud moment for our country, but also a testament to our willingness to persevere and never give up. As the saying goes, we may be little, but we tell our. Moving on, viewing this through the eyes of conflict theorists, another essential point to note would be the corrupt officials who were previously, and who might I mention, currently at the helm of our local governing body of football, that is the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation. One of the major issues that received international attention is one which involves members of our very own 2006 World Cup team going to court against their very own football association for monies rightfully owed to them. At the time, the association headed by Mr. ﷺ owed US $1 million to its players. The reality is that the monies promised to many of these players from the lucrative broadcasting rights of the World Cup finals would have been their gateway out of poverty. But as the saying goes, history has a way of repeating itself. And today, despite successive football administrative presidents, our image remains stained in the eyes of world media. This, as whenever the name Trinidad and Tobago is mentioned in regards to football, it is almost synonymous with Mr. ﷺ and FIFA corruption. Today, the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association is currently ranked 105th in the world. That is its second ever lowest ranking in history.
Good day, my name is ﷺ and today I'm going to be discussing the feminist theory and its direct correlation to the impact of female football in Trinidad and Tobago post 2006 men's national team World Cup qualification. When Dennis Lawrence scored a remarkable header, it was one of the greatest moments in our sporting history. It was the first time that we have ever qualified for the World Cup, and we are the smallest country to have ever qualified for the World Cup. From that moment, our country stood still. Everyone were out of their seats. Workers, teachers, students. When everyone found out that we are going to the World Cup, everyone ran out to the streets to celebrate and parade and clap and cheer our team on, cheer our country, our independence, our life, because this is our biggest moment in our sporting history for this small little country. Now we'll move on to the feminist theory. So according to Burkett 2020, feminism is the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. So the feminist theory from a sporting perspective delves into the fact that men are allowed more opportunities, higher salary, more media coverage, extra brand deals, better equipment, and even training accommodations than women who are sexualized, body shamed, harassed, and shown less respect as well as criticized. Bringing the point locally to our football team, the coach of the females team tweeted, "I need help," just after 9 a.m. Trinidad and Tobago sent a team to the US with only $500, no equipment such as balls, no transportation from the airport to the hotel, nothing. He said, "I don't know how I'm going to feed these players starting at lunch today." He's asking for help in Dallas area. The team's coach posted this on his social media account, which was reposted 400 times. This message has brought so much shame to our country's name. But how could a national women's team be treated so poorly that they were given no money to travel with, since it was reported that the $500 was donated by a parent? Another example was when the team was seeing more hardships when they split into two continents ahead of the Caribbean Cup in 2014. When questioned about the situation, the assistant coach had to say the situation was that we had no money to apply for visas sooner, hopefully sooner than the case is, because they had no money, they didn't receive any money to apply for visas earlier. But if it were the men's team, it would not have been an issue. So in Trinidad and Tobago, when the men's team is playing local, regional, or international matches, there are always some sort of advertisement alerting the public to tune in. Highlight reels during the nationwide sports time on the news, or talk shows during games. However, there are little to no advertisements when the Soca Princesses are playing, or even a highlight reel for them on the news, if they win or lose. The fact that the team dislikes the endearment Soca Princesses and would like to be called Women Warriors is unknown to more than 95% of our population, and this is why they feel less, because they are categorized as princesses and they want to be warriors. They want to be open and free about how they are as women and strong people.
Hi, my name is Joshua Ransom, and we'll be looking at another one of the sociological implications of the qualification of the Soca Warriors men's national team to the 2006 World Cup. And we would like to look at this through the lens of the symbolic interactionism theory.
Upon qualification to the 2006 World Cup in Germany by the Trinidad and Tobago Soca Warriors, something wonderful occurred in the society of Trinidad and Tobago. While before this time we have been lucky or fortunate to have nationals represent Trinidad and Tobago on the world stage, we as Trinbagonians and Caribbean people at large have always had an innate and unconscious feeling of inferiority. We have always been a prideful and patriotic people, but there has always been things that was deemed unachievable because of our size and our very small population. And qualifying for one of the greatest events in world football was definitely one of them. Upon achieving such a feat, the entirety of the country's population was seen as a unit. We all felt a part of something much larger. Seeing a group of national athletes attain the unattainable created not just feelings of pride and unity, but also sparked feelings of motivation and hope, not just for football, but for individuals and their everyday lives. During this time, the colors of red, white, and black, and the national football team themselves functioned as a symbol to little children, and not only little children, but the entire national population at large. A symbol that represented belief in one's ability to achieve greatness and achieve any goal that a person set out for themselves. You see, sport combines self-recognition with social recognition, and therefore through symbolic interaction, the symbols associated with the success of the Soca Warriors had a direct impact on self-perception, self-esteem, and self-worth of many individuals within the society of Trinidad and Tobago. The symbolic interactionism theory states that meaning is what really guides human behavior. And it is believed that through language and through symbols that meaning is communicated. Another great example of this taking place in Trinidad and Tobago is the Sound Fighter from Maximus Dan. This song, though released and made famous in 2006, still seems very applicable to today. This song communicated purpose, belonging, and an attitude of belief, resilience, and persistence that flowed beyond the boundaries of football and entered into our everyday lives. And this is merely one of the societal implications of such an achievement.
Hey, I am a